It's not even 9 yet. We can do this.
Sweet.
So, all right, ladies
All
and
right.
gents.
So here we go. All right, like we're supposed
We're
to.
at 12 minutes, so that was a good intro episode.
Yeah.
So, we'll just end, but we're going to read Samson.
All right. So here we are. Samson.
It's whatever day it is.
Yeah. Tis whatever the
it's
day
your
it is.
day today.
Yeah.
Relish it.
Yes. Exactamungo. All right. So, all right. It starts off
Judges
again.
13.
Yes. Judges 13.
The birth of Samson.
The birth of Samson. I wanted to point out that Eric says that and mine doesn't. So, chapter 13. Again, the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hand of the Philistines for 40 years. So, right off the bat, I want to, boom, stop.
Okay.
Okay.
First sentence usually.
So, the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, it's really like the God, the character is using the Philistines as a tool to fuck over the children of Israel because he's pissed at them.
Yeah.
So really, it's like,
It's like a
if it's real, that means that the Philistines had no choice, because that's what God wanted. God wanted the children of Israel to be fucked over by the Philistines
Yeah,
for 40
it was-
years because he was mad at them for doing evil.
It was like a straight up. It's like when a child does wrong and you stick the kid in the corner.
Yeah, or if a child
Or
does
just, like,
wrong
take
and
the
you
toy
stick him
away.
into a
Take the toy
room
away.
full of snakes.
Or there's going to the extreme. Yeah, which is my point. It's, yeah.
The snakes are doing their own will, but you want them to do something bad, so it's not the snake's fault for you putting the kid in there. It's your fault for
Yeah.
putting the fucking kid in there.
Yeah, because
So right
what
now-
is delivering into the hands of the Philistines? I thought the Philistines were gods too, though.
Yeah, everyone, yeah, exactly, which brings
So
up
it's
a
like now
beautiful
becomes
point,
ambiguous.
is God choosing people in the early days for whatever reason. Oh, because they worship other gods, so he's
Yeah.
already fucked things up for some reason.
Well, of
Either
course,
there is
of
other
course.
gods, which the Bible kind of in the beginning, they talk about us, they talk about other gods, there's pantheons, they say those who worship other gods. They don't say those who worship imaginary gods, they says those who worship other gods, like as if they do have powers to some degree.
Yeah, just like all the other blah blah descendants of Cain or whatever.
Yeah, you're going to talk to people nowadays that look at this thing and they say there's only one true God and all the other things are false gods. But back in those days, it was like in Conan, where he's all like, my God is the skies, your
Yeah.
God sits beneath him.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
There's
think
like
I-
people were
yeah.
comparing their gods and be like, Psh, your God, like, just like in
Imagine that
Moses
being kinda how
and
this-
the...
yeah.
And to Pharaoh, and he threw down his stick,
Yeah.
and it became a snake.
Yeah.
And the other people, and so in the story, they don't make magician stuff, dude. They use their other gods to make other powers happen. If you watch the cartoon, the Prince of Egypt,
I do remember
Moses
the cartoon.
uses magic, whereas the Egyptians use like fake stuff. You know what I mean? They use like what would have really been like how the
like actual
the
tricks.
Greeks and the Romans would have people pray to like a statue, and the statue would like move, and people would be like, oh my God, the statue moved, but it was
Yeah.
actually mechanics that made
Yeah,
the
like
statue move.
bleeding eyes.
Yeah,
and
so
stuff.
exactly, and so that's what the cartoon would make it look like the Egyptians were doing
Huh.
when they were competing with Moses. But in the story of the Bible, the people that compete with Moses, the Egyptians that compete with Moses, they use magic. They use other magic from their gods.
Of course, yeah.
So it's like back in the day, they did believe in other gods. So get your shit together, man. You guys, your story believes in
Well, yeah,
other
there's-
fucking gods. If
yeah, like-
I'm talking to Christians and all.
Well, or I mean, because it is within the context of the Bible, so I'm still under the thought that it's, even though people, it's like if they just don't believe in the right God, then they're just like, then they're just like disregarded.
Yeah, exactly. Even if they're not even doing bad, they always in the Bible they were worshiping other gods and doing evil.
Yeah.
And they never
Oh,
specify it,
of course.
just like doing evil.
Oh yeah, but doing evil was just banging each other openly sometimes.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and gambling.
And gambling, yeah.
But shit, man. But really, it's like, it's just somebody who was like, well, we got conquered. Let's make the best of it.
Exactly. That's what it is, dude. You make a great point in that, man. It's just that's what it is, and that people writing about we were conquered and this is why, because we got to fit everything into why God's doing something.
Of course, because when it comes down to it, they're just making the
Presupposition.
best out of it. Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
so
verse 2.
verse 2, man. See, just all that on just the opening, right out the freaking gate, man. You know, so yeah, I'd like to point out, yeah, again, okay, so Philistines, they didn't do anything wrong. So it's what God wanted. Even if God didn't, remember, God points and makes everybody do things. So he's the reason that the Philistines are fucking them up. And if it's free will, again, that's like putting your children into a room of snakes because you're mad at them. You know what I mean? It's not something. Verse 2. Now there were certain men. Now there was a certain man from Zoa, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and had no children.
Just poofs of smoke.
Freaking useless.
Just
And the angel of the Lord appeared to the woman and said to her, Indeed now, you are barren and have borne no children, but you shall conceive and bear a son.
be careful not to drink wine or similar drink, or eat anything unclean.
Yeah, it's like maybe it was just a very good-looking doctor that went in there, and it's like she was an angel, so beautiful. Told me just to really to stay off my feet,
Or really, yeah.
just normal things that you should do when you're fucking gonna be pregnant. For behold, you shall conceive and bear a son,
Repeats
and no
itself,
razor shall come upon his head. For the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. But remember, he said that he delivered him in the hands for 40 years.
So, yeah, it's straight up like this dude is certified here. Angels are involved.
Yes.
Messages foretold of the future. Prophecies.
But
That stuff's important to people,
Yeah.
especially if you're trying to sell them something like a used car.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing, is this is not a prophecy. It was written way later. So, people will claim that it was like, he prophesied.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he didn't prophesy.
Yeah, like the guy that wrote the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a valid theory, I think.
Yeah. So, but then remember though, right at the beginning, God delivered them into the hands of the Philistines for 40 years. So he had a set number, right? He didn't need Samson. He doesn't need a human being to go in there and free these people. God could just be like, okay, time's up. Make the freaking Philistines leave you alone. You guys are fine now. But instead, he wants to see some bloodshed. He wants to be like, before I let these guys out, I'm gonna fucking set a badasses. So that's like putting a mongoose in there with your kid in the den of snakes. So you're like, I'm gonna send my kid, and I could just get my kid out of the den of snakes, but I'd like to see this thing fuck up all these snakes real fast.
Yeah.
So
It's still mean.
So yeah, exactly. Pointless. There, you know what I mean? There's already, it was done. He's like 40 years, even though he didn't need to do it.
And this is interesting. Moving on, sorry to interrupt. So the woman came to her husband, saying, A man of God came to me, and his countenance was like with the countenance of an angel of God. Very awesome. Is she saying that he had a great dick?
The countenance.
Like, ooh, maybe that means he pumped me for a long time?
Oh, man.
I don't know. Anyway, she basically banged somebody, and he totally got me pregnant.
Right. But I did not ask him where he was from.
Yeah, of
I did
course
not tell him his name. Yeah, it says right there. Okay.
She just needed it or whatever.
Remember that one song? All I wanna do is make love to you.
Mm-hmm.
There's that like, I didn't ask him his name. There's that one part. I just remembered that. So that was pretty much. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Yeah, dude. She's saying this dude came up and man, the guy was just pimping. He was like, he looked good. His countenance was like the countenance of that angel of God. He was awesome. So he just looked nice. He looked great. Of course, he was from God.
Of course.
Yeah.
If she's,
Pretty much she was just smitten
She's
with
not going
some
to give
guy.
it up with some dishwashing
And
kid.
then she didn't even ask him his name or where he was from. So I mean, how just some guy came and looked awesome.
Hopefully this isn't too cynical. I'm just trying to be real.
Well, I mean, just imagine, dude, if you went home and your wife was like,
I'm pregnant.
This dude guy came over and he looked
angel.
awesome. I mean, he looked
Angel.
like, yeah, he was an angel. I didn't ask him a question, but now I'm pregnant. You didn't ask him a fucking question? You couldn't have been all like, what are you doing here? Anyways, dude just shows up.
You were gone.
He knew you hadn't had a kid. Lucky fucking guess. Anyways.
Anyway, so again, we repeat, Behold, you shall conceive and bear a son. Be sure to really bury that, like dig that in,
Yes.
so everyone knows. Now, drink no wine or similar drink. Okay. Oh yeah.
Nor
we're
eat
down there.
anything unclean. For the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death.
Yes.
And I've heard, was a Nazarite's like a warrior of God, or just like a devotee of God?
Well, I believe a devotee. Yeah.
I think actually,
Could be a warrior.
yeah. But I watched Dexter, and I think they are saying a devotee. We should look into this. Might be fucking setting ourselves up.
Yeah.
A devotee, I think, might be somebody who's into people that has their limbs cut off. Remember that's the first season. He fights his brother.
Yeah, I do
and
remember
his
that.
brother, and this is like, and they ask Masuka, and he's like, they're called devotees. And
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's somebody who abstains from alcohol and lets their hair grow, and they avoid defilement by contact with corpses.
all right,
That's a Nazarite.
and all right, so he's just pretty much, which is all arbitrary, all that
so,
right there.
So, what it could be is like maybe, like you said, written after the fact.
Yeah.
They're like, well, this dude he's so badass, he needs a definition.
Yeah.
He's a Nazarite.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, or maybe it's like a saying, he was a hippie,
Yes.
He's a freaking hippie. He grew his hair out, didn't wear leather and shit.
Well, I'd like to say that this guy was
Fucking
essentially,
vegetarian.
he was like the first trial of like, this guy, probably could have been the first Jesus, because I mean, he was made to
An
say,
attempt to.
everyone
An
talks
early
about
one.
Jesus' immaculate, birth, and this is the one. This one was
Yeah,
he
yeah,
beat
and
Jesus.
clearly inspired by others, that, like the strongman,
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah. Fucking Samson,
sons of Zeus.
Hercules.
What we're talking about, yeah.
Of course, Samson.
Because Samson.
We'll see, but when I think of Samson, I
Right, so-
think of Hercules, I think of Thor, I think of those people. He's up there with he was a mythological dude to me, where he's like, he's a badass. Anybody should have fun. Watch freaking Dark Matters 3-part fucking Dark Matter 25,
Oh, yeah.
25 on YouTube. His 3-part Samson and Delilah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. Samson the Barbarian is what it's called.
But
It's
man, did you
fucking-
ever watch like old movies?
Oh yeah, I've
with,
watched lots of old movies.
Well,
Conan the Barbarian.
yeah, I don't know. It just seems like I could like visualize the Greek gods better
Yeah.
because they had actors doing it and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? They're actually
So,
gonna
which
make.
Kind of, yeah.
They're actually gonna make. I fucking think that it's probably gonna be out pretty soon, if not out already. They're gonna be making a damn Samson movie.
That's cool.
Yeah,
we'll have
shit.
to watch that.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have to. Wow.
Well, shit, like, where are we now? She
Fucking
may
A.
not eat anything that comes from the vine, nor may she drink wine or any drink.
Because he's gonna be a
Then Manoah
Nazarite.
said to the angel of the Lord, please let us detain you, and we will prepare a young goat for you. And the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, though you detain me, I will not eat your food, but if you offer a burnt offering, you must offer to turn the page. It to the Lord, for Manoah did not know he was the angel of the Lord. Then Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, what is your name? And what is the words that come to pass? We may honor you? And the angel of the Lord said to him, whew, it's so boring to say these things, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's like, why do you ask me my name, seeing it is wonderful? So Manoah took the young goat with the grain offering and offered it up to the rock to the Lord. It was a wondrous thing. While Manoah and his wife looked on, it happened as the flame went up toward heaven from the altar. Because, back then they used to burn that shit.
Yeah.
And there's like a pillar of a thing. And the angel of the Lord ascended in the flame of the altar. When Manoah and his wife left this, when they saw this, they fell on their faces to the ground. When the angel of the Lord appeared no more to Manoah and his wife, then Manoah knew that he was the angel of the Lord. And Manoah said to his wife, we shall surely die because we have seen God. But his wife said to him, if the Lord had deserved to kill us, we would have not accepted to burnt offering and grain offering. We wouldn't have accepted that shit. We would have told such things at this time. So the woman bore a son and called his name Samson. And the child grew, and the Lord blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord began to move upon the Meniah Dan, upon him at Menaniah Dan, between Zorah and Eshtal. I know Dan is a region, a tribe too. The Danites, oh yeah, from
Yes.
earlier. Okay. So basically, that was quite a little scene. And basically, I think it's like they have something to do with the smoke convinced him.
Yeah.
And the fact that she was pregnant and he just didn't want to kill her because he's like, fuck it. Maybe he likes her. Maybe he just realized that he's the sterile one.
Yeah, I wonder if back then that people, like, even though they could save face by killing their wife, it still would suck to be the guy that got cheated on. And so they still, maybe they were like, look the other cheek.
Or maybe.
Um,
Or maybe because back then you would get married to people you don't even, like, care for them, you know?
Right.
So it's more of, like, it could be a business thing. Maybe he was, like, straight up like, this kid might be worth something.
And also, maybe none of it ever happened.
There's that possibility, too.
Yes.
Could be an amalgam of a few stories.
More than likely. There's a few people in the Bible that I'm pretty sure, like we've talked about, we thought that Moses could be a real person and Jesus could have been a real person.
I think, yeah.
I
think likely they
that
are.
they got made legend of, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm
Or
pretty sure.
It could have been legend come from a few sources, got put into one.
Right.
Like there could have been that they just talk about, like they took it like people who like resisted the Philistines and maybe did conquer some palace, maybe some little group of guys or something. They got like heroically told like a tale where a couple hundred years, then it's Samson.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Well, really
and Samson was
yeah.
born of virgins.
It could have been like a band of brothers, you know, that did
Yeah.
it too. Or like a bunch of people that did the same kind of thing over time. And that's the most favorite story.
Or people adopting their own,
Yeah. Regional until it go into the good book here.
The exact mungo.
Because everything's oral for a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's probably